Hello friends, this is Sanjay Agrawal, Chartered Accountant practicing in Gurgaon. In our last discussion, we have discussed about the concept of GST and basically why GST is important in India. Today, there is one important concept in GST is what is GST and but more particularly what is IGST, Integrated Goods and Services Tax. For understanding this concept, because they are in GST, there are three concepts, there are three elements of GST. One we call is Central Goods and Services Tax, CGST. Second we call the State GST, that is the State Goods and Services Tax. And third element, which is not known to many of us, is called IGST, the Integrated Goods and Services Tax. So today we try to understand what is this CGST, SGST and IGST. Friends, when we think of any economic activity, there are four parties to it. One who is producing and supplying such economic activities. Second is the consumer who consumes this economic activity. The third party, or we can say the third party, is the government, which is going to collect tax on this economic activity imposed by it as an indirect tax. So this third element is further divided into two. The one is the central government and second is the state governments. So whenever there is a flow of any economic activity from the supplier or the manufacturer of this economic activity to the consumer, so this supplier or the manufacturer is supposed to collect some tax on this from the customer, and customer is supposed to pay tax for consuming this economic activity to the kitty of the government. So the supplier or the manufacturer becomes the collector of taxes on behalf of the government, and the consumer is paying taxes to the supplier of this economic activity. He is not concerned about to whom this tax is going to pay, whether it is a central government or to a state government. The consumer is not concerned about it. The consumer is only concerned about that, okay, I have consumed this economic activity and I have paid some taxes, and he paid these taxes to the supplier of this economic activity, and rest assured, he is not concerned about how this consumer, whether this supplier is paying taxes to which government or whether he is not paying or paying to which government. This consumer is not concerned about this. So friends, we have two governments, the central government and the state government, which is going to get some part of the indirect taxes collected from the customer by these suppliers or the manufacturers of this economic activity. Now the question arises, from where the central government or the state government got the power to collect taxes. As we discussed in our last presentation, this central government and the state government derived power from the Constitution of India to collect taxes. Presently, the Constitution gives power to the central government to collect certain taxes exclusively, and on the other side, the state government, the Constitution also gives powers to the state government certain taxes which is to be specifically collected by the state governments on all the economic activities which are happening in that state. So, for example, the central government is collecting certain taxes at present, the example of which is excise duty, that is on the manufacture of goods, service tax on the provision of the services, certain cesses which is to be collected at the time of import of goods and services from outside India. And for the state taxes, for example, there is a one major tax. Earlier we called it a sale tax. At some passage of time we called it a VAT. So value added tax or sale tax is being collected by, levied and collected by the state governments on all the economic activities which is happening in that state. So other than these taxes, the central government are collecting certain cesses and the state government is also collecting some taxes called luxury tax, entertainment tax, entry tax, in some states the octroi. So there are multiplicity of taxes which the central government is imposing and the state government is imposing. The question arises here, if some economic activity is limited to one state, not crossing the border of the another state, not crossing the border of that state, then obviously the part of the central government taxes going to go to the central government and the share of the states taxes will going to go with the state government in which such economic activities are happening. Friends, but question arises when there is some economic activity which is flowing from one state to another state. Say the goods are manufactured in Haryana and is being sold to Delhi and consumed in Delhi. So here there is an involvement of more than one state. So in this particular transaction, we have to understand whether the Haryana is going to get the tax benefits, tax collected, or the Delhi is going to get the share of this tax collected. But for central government, it do not have any problem. The central government is the only authority which is going to take its own share of taxes. So we can now appreciate the taxes collected on interstate supplies of any economic activities or any economic activities in which more than one states are involved, then it becomes a matter of dispute which state going to get benefit of these taxes. So at this juncture we should understand that if in India being a federal structure, there are 29 states and 2 union territories which have a legislature, Delhi and Pondicherry. So in that scenario, if there are 31 states and if some economic activity is passing through more than one state, say 3 states, some goods manufactured in Haryana, like Maruti is being manufactured in Haryana, it's being sold to a dealer in UP and further sold by that dealer to a customer in Rajasthan. So there are 3 states involved. Then who is going to get the benefit of these taxes? So before understanding this concept of IGST, we should first focus what is now in the present regime this issue is being handled. So the Central Sales Tax Act, the CST Act, is addressing this type of transaction in the present regime. So in that particular things, if some economic activity or some goods and services is being transferred from one state to another state, in that case this CST will play a role, and the originating state will charge central sales tax if it is selling this particular items to a dealer who is a registered dealer in the other state. Against a C form, he will charge a concessional tax, and this tax collected go to the kitties of the Haryana, which is a originating state. And if this goods further sold to that state, in Delhi state, then obviously the Delhi will impose its own taxes, and this being the Delhi's share. So now the concept of originating and consuming states comes into picture. As it is a predominant nature, as it is a predominant characteristics of goods and services tax, or for that matter for any indirect tax map, so there is an international standard, the tax should flow to a consuming state. So the concept of GST is based on a very unique concept which is called a consumption based destination tax. So tax is to be given to the state where the consumer is located, or where the consumer exists, resides, or whatever means we can say. So in that situation, if certain things is originating from one state and is consuming in the other states, or there is a multiplicity of these states involved into one economic activities, then who is going to decide whether this is which state is going to get the tax? So in GST, to address this concept of interstate trade, the concept called IGST, the Integrated Goods and Services Tax, evolved. So let us now understand how it works by way of examples. So in GST, as we earlier said, there are 3 components: the central GST, the state GST, and the third component, which primarily important for determining the fact that which state is going to get the tax on the economic activity, on some economic activity. So friends, as we have already known, that now all the taxes, excise duty, service tax, all major taxes, around 17 major taxes as imposed by central government and state governments, are subsumed into GST, becomes one tax. So this one tax is further divided into the 2 elements: the share of the central and the share of the state. So basically, primarily, there are only GST which is to be shared between the central and the states on some particular activities as determined in the law. So if one economic activity, like in the present scenario, if Maruti is selling car, manufacturing car, so earlier in the present situation, the Maruti is charging excise duty and on the manufacture, and when it sells this particular vehicle either in Haryana or outside Haryana, if this vehicle is sold in Haryana, then Maruti is charging VAT, and that VAT becomes the share of the state government of Haryana. And if the Maruti is transferring or selling these goods to Delhi or some other state other than Haryana, then obviously if it is a dealer, then Maruti is selling this particular car to that particular dealer under central sale tax and charging a concessional tax if that dealer is providing the form C, which is to be given under the central sale tax. So whatever concessional tax as collected by Haryana is its own share. It is not transferring, this particular CST is not transferring to the state on this Haryana Maruti is selling to that state. So in the proposed GST scenario or proposed GST regime, for example, this Maruti again selling this particular item to Haryana, so all the taxes subsumed called GST, which is to be further divided into the central GST and state GST. So whenever Maruti is charging, manufacturing some particular vehicle and selling it to Haryana, the levy is at the time of supply of these cars to dealer in Haryana. Maruti is obviously charging central GST and state GST. The central GST will go in the kitty of the central government and the state GST will go to the kitty of the state government of Haryana, because the goods is sold to a Haryana dealer or a customer in Haryana. And if Maruti is selling this particular vehicle to a state outside Haryana, then which tax the Maruti should charge to comply with the destination principle or consumption principle? So here the evolution of IGST comes into picture. When this Maruti is selling this particular item to the state other than Haryana, which as Maruti is located in Haryana, then it cannot charge CST, CGST and SGST. So this concept of controlling or suspense account or a control account comes into picture, this called an IGST. So Maruti will charge IGST, which is nothing but a sum total of CGST and SGST. And when this charge IGST to a dealer outside Haryana, then this dealer, which is to be collected by Maruti and paid to the kitty of the central government, because this IGST, where there is any transaction between these states, then it is the central government who is the authority deciding and framing rules whether there is a transaction which is an interstate transaction or an intrastate transaction. So this IGST is law governed by the central government, as any disputes or any things which is to be decided between the states per se, one state cannot decide. So only the central government has come into the picture. Like in the earlier law also, the CST, the central sale tax, is being levied and governed by the central government, and same is the concept of IGST, which is to be levied and governed by the central government, to ensure that the principle of destination based consumption tax arises, and tax which is levied on some particular transactions which is an interstate transaction. So the share of the state into this particular tax goes to a state where this particular economic activity is consumed. So when we are just carrying this Maruti example, if that particular vehicle is being sold to a dealer in Delhi, then Maruti will charge IGST in instead of CGST and SGST, and this IGST is the sum total of CGST, the central GST and the state GST. Obviously the share of the central GST is that of the central government, so the share remain with the state share. So state share, the central government will pass on this state share to a Delhi government at this juncture, and if this particular dealer in Delhi sold this particular goods in the state of Haryana, then the IGST paid by the Delhi dealer to the Haryana dealer, and Haryana dealer paid it to the central government, is divided into two parts. One is taken by the central government, and the state part is being given to the Delhi government, which is happening through a network called a GSTN network. This is a back-end process to ensure the destination based principle, and this IGST account gets nullified because it is being divided into the central and the state, consuming state. We will go further with this example. If the dealer in Delhi sold this vehicle to a person in Uttar Pradesh, UP, so this Delhi dealer will obviously charge IGST on this, and this IGST further passes to the UP government, further passes to the UP, and this central government will play a role into this. So central government will keep its share into this particular activity and give that particular share of the state to the government of Uttar Pradesh, where the consumer of this vehicle is located. So friends, the concept of IGST is being evolved in the GST process to ensure the tax is traveling to that particular state where this particular economic activities on which tax is imposed is being charged, is being consumed by that state. So to reiterate this particular thing, and basis on the consumption of taxes, and any dispute between the states is to be governed by this IGST Act, which is a sale. We'll call it the interstate sale or the intrastate sale. Interstate sale is being sale from one state to another state. Intrastate sale is a sale. Intrastate sale is a sale which is in the same states. So obviously, if there is an activity which is just comprises in one state only, then there is no issue of this IGST. The IGST issue arises only and only when there are two states involved in some economic activity. So with this, I can give you another example to reiterate this particular principle. Say there is a mobile manufacturing company in Haryana, and this mobile manufacturing company is selling its goods through a dealer located in all over the countries. So whenever this manufacturing company of mobiles is manufacturing a mobile and selling it to a state in Delhi or UP or Bihar, so obviously this particular dealer is charging IGST, which is comprises of CGST and SGST, and this particular IGST is traveling to the state where this particular goods is consumed at that particular moment of time, and with this backhand procedure this IGST will break where it particularly the goods is ultimately consumed. So if the goods is consumed not in Delhi, in UP or in Bihar in the same chain, then obviously it is the Bihar government. On the back hand, this IGST will flow state to state and ultimately lies in the pocket of the Bihar government. So this is a very simple concept of IGST, and in this particular concept of IGST, there are two things involved. This one principle involved is called destination based consumption tax, which we have already discussed in our presentations, and the new concept which comes into the picture is one is the intrastate sale, another is the interstate sale, and when we'll call something is an interstate and something as an intrastate, there are certain definitions which is governed in the IGST Act, because as we said, anything between the two states is to be monitored and governed by the central government. And just to give you a flavor of what is the intrastate sale and what is the interstate sale, so that in our next presentation when we'll talk about these terms, so there are further certain terms is involved. Like in the very beginning we said there is a supplier or manufacturer of goods and services, there is a consumer of goods and services, and there is a central government, and there is a state government. So these four element of this any economic activity which decides the tax collected by the suppliers of goods and services going to go in the kitty of the central government and the state government, or which state government. So with this concept we will, I hope we will be able to understand the concept of IGST, and in our next presentation we will talk about the concept of interstate sale, the intrastate sale, and the other things. The other concept is a place of supply, the time of supply, so which ultimately going to govern for the levy of this GST. Thank you friends. Thank you so much. Thank you.